What's going on, everybody? I'm Susu. Thank you for showing up. Absolute pleasure having you. Let's talk about CRON. Like I said in the CGC video, we're going to go somewhat over these MJ players. CRON, I feel really bad for this, and this is why. So this is Aziona was a person who had a feeling, CRON was about to reverse back up. She was hoping for it. And she's really good to her followers, by the way. But I'm looking there and I'm saying, what's going on here? This thing should be popping up, because remember, I had called when she had asked me. I said, look, well, she didn't ask me anything. When she had mentioned that, I replied, hey, I think that CRON may be doing its thing. Right here's the range. I told her that it would go to 1470 and then it would reverse back up. Well, it went literally to 1483 right there. So I told her that would happen here. It came down, touched it, and started its reversal process. Then, of course, literally right here on the third candle from the left, that red one there, bad news about CAN Trust, which can't be trusted, as we've discussed. But this is why I was hopeful for CRON. Very hopeful. I'm going to show you what I saw on the chart that made me very hopeful, and it was the same thing. Tilray just experienced the same thing, by the way. For you guys that don't know, I'll show you. That's the next video I'm going to do, and you'll be able to see it there. But if you look right here, take this down and just connect that to the few on the way down, and look what you end up getting. So if you take it here and you put it right there, just make sure you're touching at least 3. In some cases, you're going to get like 4 or 5 touches. But you want to make sure you get at least 3, and that's sort of like the confirmation that it is what you think it is. And you could take it from, let's say, right here, and you just want to make sure that you're getting about 3 of them. You want to make sure you get about 3 of them. But if you look right here, you can see where it was definitely in a falling wedge. You can probably even tighten that up more. Let's see if we even bring it down like this. And you might even be able to, realistically, this is probably the right way to do it. Yeah, right there's the right way. Yep, that would be the right way. So let's bring that to right there, because you see how much it's touching there and how it actually was. This one right here can go to right there, I would say. That would bring these up a tiny bit. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. That is beautiful. That is a falling wedge for sure. And look what ends up happening here. So you can see the whole process. Goes up, that ends up being resistance. As it comes down, you see it falling through. Ends up coming down, touching the bottom of the trend line. That's that falling wedge we're seeing, and then comes up, actually comes back up, touches the top, which is the resistance, comes down, gets the support, which is the bottom of the falling wedge, and then here is where the breakout actually happens. It breaks out for finally. See how it was getting so tight right there? Well, often you'll notice right before the lines close in, a breakout or an additional drop needs to happen. Something has to happen, but falling wedge usually leads to a bullish. It goes up. Oh, forgive me. It breaks out of the falling wedge. That's what happened here. So look what happens. It breaks out and something dramatic happens. It turns this top line, that top line there, which will make it blue so it's something different. That top line right there becomes support now. Watch what happens. Comes down, touches it, and then falls down on top of it right here. And look what else is there to bounce it, to give it that propulsion. That's the 200-day SMA, that pink line. So look what happened when it went down to touch that. It's like boom, and Merrill Lynch, Bank of America Merrill Lynch comes out with, I think it was them, $17, $18 price target, something like that. Boom. And it just explodes way up. Back up to the $18 range. Yeah, $18 range. So looking at all of that, you would think, my God. I mean, that's why I was like, dude, this thing's broke out. It's going to reverse, maybe go to the 200 again, which is what I told Aziona. But then that bad news comes out and it breaks it. Now, you might be saying, hey, but it just broke it recently, which it did. I'm not trying to go too fast here, but I want this video to be short enough for you guys to be able to see the whole thing without having to be there for an hour. But look right there. See how it had broke through right there? And then it had that strong move up. But remember what I showed you. That's where the trend line was, and it had come back down to it, and the 200 SMA was there. Now it has none of that. It's been broken out, so there's no more like trend line support at this point. It's trying to build new trend lines. It may be about to build trend lines this way, which would be the best case scenario, because that would mean this is the bottom and then it's going to find its way back up. The concern here is that news is going to be a driving force down. We just don't know yet. We're going to find out tomorrow what that looks like. CGC, I was kind of hoping, even though I don't want it to get destroyed, I was kind of hoping it would go to the 3270 range. This way I could buy those call options I was talking about in the video before. But this is my thing. So if you look at the times, the Bollinger Bands, look at the Bollinger Bands, and let's say you were just playing call options. And this is what I said on StockTwits. If you only played calls when it fell out of the bottom or the top of the Bollinger Bands, CRON could have made you rich. And this is how, even though I didn't do this, because I didn't even see it till I started really thoroughly looking at this thing. Now remember this, the majority of what you're going to see is traditional price action, meaning there's not news and catalysts surrounding it. Wherever there's news and catalysts, obviously it becomes way harder, because we're seeing that now. It fell out of the Bollinger Bands, but it kept falling. But look here, pops out of the top of the Bollinger Bands there, big drop. Comes back up. This is not the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, that's the mid band. Then look what it does. Come back out again, big ass drop. Where does it drop to? It drops right there where I had it. I had that mark right there. Look, Bollinger Band. It drops out of the Bollinger Band, then back up. Now look, this would be short-term trading. Remember you cannot consider these long-term soldiers where you buy calls and you sell them a day or two later. Pretty much you sell them when you're up. It's like you buy them, if you go up like 20-30%, you sell them. You might miss 150-200%. I know it sucks, but at least if you do this, your strategy, you're learning. Because look, if you held an extra couple days, you'd lose all your money. And that's the thing. So you got to treat it short term. But then here, it touches there, so we won't count that one because it actually didn't pop out. But look right here. See how it popped out? It's probably because the news surrounding the things. It just went out right here, out again, kept falling. Right there, you'd be like, what the hell? It's breaking all of it. But it did actually come back up. So after it went out a couple, then look right here, it came out, went back up, and now it's out of the Bollinger Bands again. So you might be saying, well, definitely I should be buying calls, because every time it seems to fall out, at some point, even if it's a day or 2 or 3 days later, it does tend to go back up. The fear I'm having following that plan is that it has news driving this. And so this is where I'm fearful, because the effectiveness of the Bollinger Bands is so, it's been destroyed. There is no effectiveness when there's news and all this nonsense. But that doesn't mean it can't be the case. It doesn't mean it can't reverse tomorrow. It may have just been people who are already on the fence about it and they decided, I'm done, I'm going to get out. Options were up thousands of percent in some cases. So some people made a shitload of money on options playing puts on these. I actually bought the $38 puts on July 5th. And those $38 puts were worth $395 on Friday. I bought them for $17 a contract. I even posted it on StockTwits. I was like, look, I got these for $17 a contract. I sold them when they were barely up. Shit, I sold them for like 56 cents. I mean, $56 a contract. They went to $395. So I lost majorly on my gains. I mean, I could have got so much more money out of it, but it was just 10 contracts. It was a $170 investment. Had I waited till yesterday or Friday, they would have been worth $3,950. But I didn't. And that's okay, because it's fine taking $560 on a $170 investment. And that's what I'm trying to say to you, is that when you see these, you don't go 5,000, it's definite. Learn. If you don't know options, learn with one contract, 2, 3 contracts. Don't come in with 5 Gs. Come in and learn the process. Find out how many times, maybe 5 times, 10 times, how many times were you right? Of all the ways that we're able to teach you, did you feel better holding a longer period of time? Did you feel, meaning do you want to buy your options a month out, 2 months out? Does it feel better to do the day trade options thing where you kind of buy and then when it bounces up, you just sell it for a 5-10% gain? You have to learn options though, I feel like, as a trader, because options give you something. Like when you're not good at shorting stocks, or you don't have the option to short them, or it's not your thing, you should still have some mechanism to make you money when things go down. So when stuff like this happens, you're not just totally getting destroyed, and it helps you hedge against losses. So if you're heavy in CRON or you're heavy in CGC and you just had some puts to cover your butt, when it had that deep drop and you went from, $4, $5 down, you'd also would have made thousands of percent on your puts that you could have bought a week or 2 weeks or 4 weeks out. And you could have bought a bunch of, puts, let's say like 50 contracts of puts, and that would have put you in a space where you really wouldn't be down. You know what I'm saying? You'd be up, and then what you could do is take the money that you made from your puts and then buy more shares of the stock that you love. And that's what options are truly made for. It's for hedging. It's for finding a safer way so you're not just getting slaughtered on one side. And so I want you guys to consider options in that way, not this dream that options will make you rich overnight, because they won't. But what they can do is help you hedge and make a good decision so you have a balanced trading plan and you're not just open to swinging and volatility. Okay? So anyways, that's it for CRON. I hope that's helpful. Like, subscribe, share, show me some love, because I'm trying to show you guys a little bit of information that you might not have known, and I'm hoping very much that it was useful. All right, guys, I love you. Peace.